Hi everyone, I'm here with a brand new type of video to my channel. You've probably clicked here because you've either seen on Instagram or seen the announcement video. I am pregnant, and I love saying that. I am now, let's see, tomorrow I will be 15 weeks. So I've been holding this for a long time. It's been hard not to mention it in vlogs, and it was hard through the trying to conceive journey not to talk about it. But I just wanted to kind of give you a rundown. I'm going to really try not to blabber on. But yeah, we tried for, let's see, October, November, December, 8 months. So it was a decently long journey. I know there are definitely people that struggle with infertility and that go way longer than that, but it did feel like a lot. And I think Jen organized Pretty Neat Living might have said this in something along the lines of in this video, her video, like no matter how long your journey is, if that's really something you're wanting is to carry a child, it can feel very trying and it can feel like a long journey. But best of luck to all of you, best wishes, prayers. I'll tell you what worked for us, which is being in the right place the right time, obviously. But yeah, I'll go through that. So TTC and BFP, there might be some terms I use that I picked up while I was lurking on the forums during my 2-week waits. So I'll try to break them down if I do mention them. But if you are trying to conceive, you should jump on some forums. You'll learn some things pretty quickly. So I'm going to try to go through trying to conceive, then mention the products we used, trying to conceive, and then mention the BFP, what that was like, and show you a clip and things like that. So I'll try to leave timestamps, and let's get into it. So I have never thought of myself before this journey as like someone longing to have children. Nate and I thought and agreed on like being married for a couple of years, 3 years or something, you know, and then trying to have children. Nate and I moved in pretty quickly together, and so we kind of felt like our lives were on a track where we had spent a lot of time together. That's not why we started trying, but I was on pharmacy rotations last summer, and the first rotation I had, I spent a lot of time in clinic with providers, and one provider in particular is like a jack of all trades of MDs, and he did child checks, and he did OB care and delivered. So when I shadowed him, I saw a lot of mamas and I saw a lot of little ones that were just like, that was kind of the tipping point for me. I had never known any maternal urge. I had never longed to carry a child, but something about that time in my life and seeing all those people, that is exactly what I wanted. My ovaries started to go crazy. So that's when the idea started coming around in my head. And then Nate and I were getting married in September. I had been on birth control since I was 16. I'm now 24. So, well, I guess I was 23 when I went off. So 7 years. So my body hadn't really known any different, and I didn't really know my body that well. So that was kind of interesting and something I really got in tune with along this journey. I had listened to, I will link it below, I should write that down so I remember, Alisa Vitti had a episode on the Just Lively show all about hormones, how they affect your body, kind of why people start hormones, and the ideology of the whole thing wasn't really driving with me anymore. I wanted to come off of them even if we weren't trying to conceive. I had some friends that had gotten married before me that had started learning about natural family planning, which is where you're temping, checking your cervical mucus, checking the position of your cervix. So I had recognized there were some other ways, and I was kind of leaning towards the side of wanting to come off the birth control anyway. It was all really good timing. I recommend you listen to that episode if you just want to learn more about your body and that sort of thing. So although I was a pharmacy student and I'm now a pharmacist, we learn about hormones, we learn about birth control, but they're all so different, and there are so many different ones, and hormones are a really important part of your body, but I don't feel, and still don't really, I feel like I learned more about hormones once I kind of dove into the trying to conceive part of things versus like just being stuck, put on a birth control when I was younger. And then, I mean, I don't know, like I feel like I could know more. Hormones are so important, and I feel like we could have spent more time on them, basically. But so even with all of that, I made a doctor's appointment, kind of telling her I was going off my birth control, like sound the alarms and letting you know I'm going off my birth control, things are gonna happen. And she was kind of like, what should I do to get ready for a baby? That it was like making this big thing of it. And she was like, you know, call me when you're pregnant. Like, that's awesome. You can just stop it and let me know. So there wasn't too much preparation in that realm. That was sort of like oh, okay, for me. So that first month we were married, it was like, okay, we're gonna try but not try. And then it didn't happen. And then that kind of was like, oh, well now we're gonna try because now I have intention and now it's gonna happen because we want it to happen for real. And it didn't happen. So what kind of added to the difficulty for us as far as trying to conceive, I think, was rotations. And I was traveling a lot, which I think I didn't quite know my cycle, which it ended up being pretty regular, 27 to 29 day cycles. But I was just learning about my own body being off of birth control. And then we weren't always in the right place at the right time together. So that was kind of the big struggle for us. Things my body did that I wasn't used to. I broke out like crazy. I just assumed I had this flawless skin, but it was the hormones. And I started losing weight, and it kind of took some time for my body to shed, but I was eating better for some time too. But almost towards like February and about the time we conceived, people were saying like, what have you been doing? You lost weight. And I was just like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm eating pizza like I always do. But I think weight gain is one of the side effects of birth control. And so I think my body was like finally getting to its set point, which was cool. And now I'm gaining weight again. But what else? My ovaries would ache some months during ovulation, which I never really heard of before, and I thought that was like kind of like a myth or like something crazy, but that was happening. My periods were never horrible, so like that was normal. They stayed light, and that was really nice and all of that. So just learning my body along the way. I not a lot of my friends have children, and so I turned to the internet basically for answers and support. I wasn't like heavily involved commenting on any forums, but I was reading and scouring the forums. There's one called 2 Week Wait that I highly recommend. It's very addictive. The 2 week wait's that time between the ovulation and the your menstrual cycle, or hopefully your positive test. And so that was like the worst part, and it felt so long. And especially when you got a negative each time, but the women on there were really supportive, kind of helped me pass the time. I got obsessed with BFP by DPO, by days post-ovulation, which I will share my own at the end of the video, but the forums were really helpful for me. I, for some reason, was tracking my period when I was on birth control, even though they were like regular. And I was just using any random app, and I switched a few times before really coming to know the boards online, the forums. And a lot of the women on the forums use something called Fertility Friend, abbreviated as FF. The interface is like pretty ugly, but it's pretty thorough, and a lot of those women use it and like use that chart. It'll chart for you, keeps track of your temp and all of that. So yeah, about that time, October, I was starting to temp. I didn't do much with my CM, cervical mucus, or my position of the cervix. We were really just relying on the prediction of ovulation from the app and temping. And temping went well for a while. When it just wasn't happening towards the end, like April, May, I stopped temping. I just thought it was kind of stressing me out. I was really kind of keying in on it. And Yeah, so we started, maybe I'll just get into the products, the different things we used. So right away, I started using Fertility Friend, kind of tracking that. Just wanted to learn what my cycles would be like since I wasn't on the birth control anymore. Started temping. You need a basal body thermometer that can have the 100th decimal. I just got this at Target. You can read all of this online. So I temped every morning, like 5 a.m. I started taking a prenatal, but I switched to this specific prenatal about February when I was in Colorado getting all natural. The My Kind Organics, it's by Garden of Life. They're the once daily prenatals. They have other prenatals that you have to take like 3 a day or something. So these are kind of expensive, but I'm happy with them. The main thing I guess for me was these had folate versus the folic acid. So they're all natural and that sort of thing. And I like those. Maca, I was taking Maca probably since February. I picked this up at like a pharmaca that's supposed to support reproductive health, your libido, fertility, that sort of thing, your energy. So I was taking one in the morning, one in the afternoon. If I could remember, mostly one in the morning. They do have like maca powder you can put in smoothies, but I didn't really like the taste, so these worked out really well for me. I stopped taking them once I was pregnant though. And then pregnancy tea, I started drinking that, just kind of anything and everything I could get my hands on. Again, I stopped using this in my first trimester, but I'll probably start up again. It's supposed to support your uterus health and make a nice strong uterus. So it's basically red raspberry leaf is what is like the main thing in pregnancy tea and nettles and that sort of thing. During this time, I was really working on my anxiety and that aspect of my life too. So Unakite was one of the stones I had picked up that's supposed to support reproductive health, help to become 3, that sort of thing, conception. There were times that I lost this throughout my trying to conceive journey and then would find it during like ovulation time again. So I felt like I knew when I was out for that month because I would lose this and then I would find it again when it was time to try. We did try just a few times using pre-seed. I don't think it made a difference, but we tried that as well. And then really prayer and talking to baby. Not right away, I did not pray about having a baby much. I think I was just kind of like scared to admit it, and I don't know, I was kind of tiptoeing around it as far as in my prayer life, but I started asking God, and I started to talk to baby, whoever they are, just inviting them into this loving space, and that we were inviting them and that sort of thing. So yeah, another thing that we started using, well, first I bought the Wandfo Internet Cheapies ICs pregnancy tests off of Amazon, and you can get like, I don't even know, it was like 50 or 30 or something for like $11. I should probably break that down too, to tag or put a link in. You're gonna be peeing on a stick a lot because you're gonna be really excited and think you're pregnant a lot of times. So those were great. They're the ones that you have to dip into like the urine, and they just have the 2 lines. So a line is a line for pregnancy, which I will talk about. But we also later down the line started using OPKs. Sorry, I'm saying so much. We started using OPKs, ovulation predictor kits, down the line about February. And if you're trying to conceive, that's like the #1 thing I would recommend. It takes the guessing work out. So that and my achy ovary really keyed us in on when it was time to get together. So those were kind of the like tools and things that we used. Another thing I would mention, I am like very open about things in my life, but we told people we were trying to conceive, and I'm not sure I would necessarily recommend that. It added to the stress, and then each time I would see the certain people I told, they were either expecting us to tell them news or were asking me if we were pregnant, and of course we weren't, so for many of the months. So that was kind of like disappointing to tell them that and to relive that. And so I would probably keep that a little mum if I were to redo it again. But yeah, so I mentioned the products. Now we'll get into the BFP. I will show a clip for you the day I tested and was kind of in disbelief. So here it is. I will go through my pregnancy tests that I've saved for this video, and then I will go through my DPO, BFP by DPO, and then I think we'll be done with the video. So I'm going to tell you the story. So I took my Naplex on a Saturday, and my period wasn't due until the Friday after that, and I promised myself I was not going to test. But I will have you know, so we were trying. About April, May, I was like, okay, I've kind of had it with this. This is exhausting. I'm like so bummed about this. I'm just gonna reflip my focus, whatever if it happens. Let's just have the best summer, Nate. I fell in love with beer. Life was good. I graduated. Like, let's just enjoy life. Whatever. We don't need a baby right now. Then it happened. So I was kind of like, we were still trying, and we were still using the ovulation protector. I was still on it, but kind of trying to tell myself, like, it's okay if it's not happening. So during this time, I was really downplaying any symptoms I had, where before it was like, if I had a cough, it was like a pregnancy symptom. So I was kind of downplaying things, trying not to pay too much attention to my body, stopped temping. So I told myself, I'm not going to just start taking tests right away. But I got home from my Naplex, felt really good about the Naplex, was like, what should I do now? Had a whole stack of internet cheapies sitting in the closet, home alone. Nate was at work, of course. And I just had this feeling, I was like, I'm gonna test. I'll just, whatever, it's always negative. It's always negative, so what's gonna be one more negative? Let me find it. My very first test, first BFP. And I will maybe just insert a picture because I doubt you'll be able to see it. And even on the picture, it is so faint. I was in disbelief. So because I peed on the stick, I put it in the stuff. I left it sitting on the toilet for longer than what they recommended. I had forgotten about it because that's how lackluster I was trying to make this for myself, right? So yeah, you can't even, I can see it, but you probably can't see it. So I go back to you're supposed to read it in 5 minutes. I go back to it, it's been 15 or half an hour or something, right? But there's a tiny, tiny line. And so I texted my friend who has been with me on this journey, who has a baby and knows what this is like. And she's really excited, of course. So she's like, maybe it's an evaporation line. You should try again. And of course, I didn't have to pee right then. So my mom takes me to lunch. I did have a beer. That was my last beer. That was the last supper. The last beer. I thought this could be it. And then I was kind of, still downplaying it like it is an evaporation line. I waited too long, whatever. Because my period wasn't due till Friday, right? Okay. So that was 9 days post-ovulation. So then I come home from lunch, finally have to pee again. This is June 4th of this year. Again, the faintest, but it's there. So I had one digital at home, and I thought, okay, I had 2 positives on the internet cheapies. It's time to do the digital. I'm wasting the digital, the expensive ass digital. I'm gonna do it. So I did it, popped up yes, I'm sure I have a picture. That's when it hit me. It was this is what I've wanted for so long, and it's finally here, and now I'm scared. Now this is happening, and we kind of need to rearrange our lives. That was kind of sinking in, whoa, it's really happening. So I continued to test every day. Here's 10, here's day 10, here's day 11, and then day 12 was finally a really good, this is a BFP. So then I stopped after that. Here is day 12. So with the digital, I thought to myself, Nate's at work, right? Should I make a big thing out of this? Should I wait? Should I get something made? Should I order something from Etsy? Why wasn't I prepared for this? And so I tried to tie it onto my Chocolate Labs collar, but she's a crazy, wild thing. So she was just so excited for him to get home that it knocked out of her collar by the time he got in the door, and then picked it up from the ground really quick and then tried to hide it behind my back because I wanted to like make it this thing, and then it got all awkward. But you know, it was like, okay, Nate, I have some great big news. We're pregnant. And he just couldn't believe it, and we hugged and all of that good stuff. And I had them laid out on the counter, and he said something along the lines of, how accurate are these? And I was just like, babe, there's 3 tests in front of you. We are having a baby. It's really happening. So yeah, that was that. And that was our BFP, and the rest is history. We started telling our close family, and it's been trickling, and then we finally had our first appointment a few weeks ago, and so we're about to have our second appointment, so now it's everywhere. Now it's out. But in honor, in gratitude of all the women before me who have posted on the forum their BFP by DPO, I will share mine. Like I said, I did track some of the symptoms I had, but I didn't have too many, and I was trying to downplay them a little bit. So, let's see here. I have my fertility friend, which is so nice to have to look back on. It was so nice to have. Okay, second day post-ovulation. Creamy white CM in the morning. I guess that was important. Actually, that was important. That was kind of one of the inklings I did have. It stayed like that. I stayed with fertile mucus for like the duration of that kind of 2-week wait, which wasn't typical. I didn't really track it much before, but I guess it just felt different to me. So I tracked that. Then the 6th day, this was really weird. I have horrible allergies usually, but this year they were on point. They were great. And for some reason, day 6, it's supposed to be due to the estrogen and all of this. This is the note I wrote to myself. Crazy allergies, sneezing, stuffy, postnasal drip, sore throat. Woke up thinking right breast felt sore. Oh, right nipple still sore. Took a nap to ease the symptoms. I had sore nipples throughout the trying to conceive journey, which was new for me, I think just because of my hormones changing. But when that happened during those months, I thought for sure I was pregnant. Was just one of my like ovulation type symptoms, I guess, pre-menstrual cycle symptoms. So I wasn't trying to play that up too much, and then thought my right breast felt sore. Like, I am now experiencing that, and you will know. I had to Google that and ask, like, not ask in the forum, but like try to find a thread on that. If you are asking and like wondering if your breasts are sore, they're not there yet. There's gonna be a range, and you're gonna get there. That's not the threshold yet. Okay, so that was day 6. I had these crazy allergies, like could not get them under control. Sneezing. Thank goodness I was home that day. And then it was my BFP. That was it. That's all. I had creamy CM. My nipples were like sore, but that wasn't unusual. And then I had a crazy allergy attack. So that's it. That was like the lead, like months before that, I had like tracked every little tiny thing. So that was actually pretty, uneventful for a cycle. But yeah, that's kind of everything. So I tried to run through this a little bit quick. And if I missed anything, or you want to chat about something or have some details about something, go ahead and leave it below. I would love to talk with all of you. I pray for all of you that are on this journey. I'm here for support. Those forums are great because they're there all hours of the night. I would be Googling at like 2 a.m. Is this a symptom of pregnancy? So use what you can for each Friday. So I'm thinking Nate's not going to be home tonight, so I'll be posting this tomorrow, Saturday. But the Fridays up until I hit month 4, I will have an update for you. I'm going to be filming just by month, so like week 1 to 4, month 1, etc., etc., etc. So I'll be hitting week 4 towards the end of September. So each week I should have at least an update for you, and then from there I can go real time with the baby updates. So thank you for watching. We're so excited to share this news. We're so excited to learn. We're nervous and scared and excited and all of the feelings as new first-time parents. So thank you for watching. You can find me on social media too. TidyTour on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Have a great day. Bye.